Thank you for watching Entrepreneurship. And today's guest is very special. I'm talking about you have to be on the waiting list for this one. So when she replied that she's coming, I said, thank God. Because this lady, when it comes to entrepreneurs that I know, this is one of the hardest working people that I know. Ever since I met her, she's been doing, in the African community, I say she's been doing what was impossible.
Yeah.
And she's been opening doors that a lot of people are scared to even step in front of the door. But she's like, she keep going in and in. So without further ado, I will let her introduce herself.
Awesome. Thank you. See, now when you do that, I have to like come up on that level.
But that's the
you know,
truth,
that's the
truth.
Okay, I receive it. Hello, everybody. My name is Louise Nunga. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have not found my pitch yet. My elevator. You know how people have their quick bio, like I do this?
Yeah.
I haven't found it yet. So serial entrepreneur will have to do for now. I'm a mom. I'm an author. I'm a business coach. I like to call myself a business minister. So you might get some ministration today, some biblical
Amen.
laying of hands, you know, casting some business demons out and whatnot.
We need that.
So that's pretty much the gist of who I am. So yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Like we need all of that, cause you know, on this show we normally talk to entrepreneurs, and then we get to know how they start their business and how so that somebody that is watching can also follow the same blueprint.
Right.
Cause I always feel like with the blueprint it makes everything easier.
True.
Without a blueprint, that means we have to struggle to build our own. But once we have somebody like you that know what you're doing, I mean, you're already in the field, you're already doing it. So it actually helps us, like, you know, everybody that's behind to also learn. So I want to ask you, how did you came up with the whole mindset of, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I wish I brought a copy of my book, and I thought about it because it's literally what you're saying, like it's called Just Started, how to activate your God-gifted business. Because for me, I just started it. There was no plan. There was no blueprint when I started. It's now that I'm actually trying to get the blueprint for the next part of my life, which is very interesting. I had to get a business coach, not a business coach, but a personal coach to actually like help me create the next blueprint of the rest of my life. And because I kind of just jumped into entrepreneurship from college. So while I was in college, it started from me winning Miss Cameroon, Georgia in 2005, the pageant.
Wow.
So when I did that, I won, and my talent was dancing. I did this traditional dance that we call asiko. It's from Cameroon, from my mom's side of the family, they're a tribal dance. And when I did that dance, I won. So people would invite me after that, like, oh, let's have Miss Cameroon come perform at, you know, so-and-so events. So I started performing, and then they would start paying me $100. I'm like, oh, you can make money from dancing. So I was just like, oh, let me listen. Got the bottle on my head. I was dancing. You have this little round. It's kind of like the culture dance. Yeah, like the cultural dance. Like we have a little wrap that we put around our waist. You dance, and all of that. So after that, that's when that really opened the door for me, because I always thought I was shy.
Okay.
Before doing this pageant, like in high school, I was coming fresh off the boat, you know, the only black girl in an all white school, you know, them asking me the questions of like, you know, do you guys stay on trees, you know, African booty scratchers? Do you see lions?
Oh yeah, the African booty scratchers, yes.
Did you come on the boats and all of that? So I was very shy in high school. So this pageant, shout out to Lady Kate, she put together this pageant. This was the first time she ever did it. She moved on. She does Miss Africa USA now in Maryland. But this was her first time doing a pageant. She literally picked me up and took me to the pageant and made sure that I participated. And when I won it, I was like, oh, I actually can talk in front of people. I actually like talking. Oh, I'm not really an introvert. It was just the condition that I was under, because you have to groom, you know, certain personalities, you know. The environment matters, you know, the people you hang out with, the type of opportunities that you take on can prove to you who you really are as well. So after that, then I started getting invited, you know, and then after that, I'm like, you know what? Let me open a dance group, okay? Let me invite 2 or 3 other friends. We're going to make this a more cultural situation so we can charge a little bit more. And then I started a dance group called Afrobeats Dancers. This is in like 2006.
So let me get this straight. Before Afrobeats even became popular, you was
Yes.
already doing it in the dancing.
Exactly. From as being Miss Cameroon, I was doing it, but the cultural way. But then I'm like, let's do it now with when Coupé de Calais was hot.
Was it?
Ah.
Was popping.
Before Nigeria came and just took us off the map, when Coupé de Calais was what it used to be, I was like, man, I always loved dancing. So I'm like, let's start a group, where we're going to be dancing. Our focus was Coupé de Calais because Afrobeats was not really what Afrobeats back then to us was, the French African music.
Yeah.
So we started that group, and then people would invite us to weddings. We did backup dancing for artists that were coming to town, like Jet Set, Lino Versace, Douleur. So we started doing backup dances for artists and stuff. So that's how I really entered into entrepreneurship, because this was my beginning, kind of getting my feet out there that, you can make money in something outside of just going to school and being a professional.
Talking about school and professional, right? How did your, like coming from African parents?
Yeah.
Coming from African household, period. There's only 3 things there. Well, more than 3, but the main 3 things that they want.
Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Of course. So how did your parents actually feel about that? Like how?
We had family reunion issues. We had family intervention meetings. They did not, in the beginning, it was not accepted. I went to school to be a pharmacist. Graduated with a biology degree.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Never used it. I don't even know what that degree is, honestly.
Wow.
But I think I gave it to my mother on graduation. Like, here, now get off my back.
Now she's happy.
Now she's happy. She's like, at least just get a college degree so that way you have that. No, so for me, because when I was going to school, it was okay because it was just a hobby. It wasn't something that they looked at as, oh my God, you're doing, business full time. I was doing something that, hey, was earning me extra money. Because from the dancing, then I started doing club promotion, event planning, which I don't think we had met then. When I was doing, I was only I was like the first female club promoter that was like in the midst of all these guys, when Velvet Room was open, when Queens was popping, and Shandong and all these places, the Valley and all of that situation. So I started Lioness Entertainment then, and we're just promoting parties and stuff like that. And that actually bought my first car. Like, I used the promotion money at one event. I was like, I showed it to my uncle, like, hold this money for me, that's gonna buy my car. So they were seeing me at least make money from that. So they respected that hustle. But then when I transitioned to I'm getting older, I'm in college, I don't know what to, I'm taking one semester off, one class here. They're not really, they're like, okay, bro,
you can't.
You're going. This is 24, 22. You have not graduated in college, because I didn't graduate till I was probably 26. Oh, wow. Even though I started, it took me 6 years.
And to them, to African parents, that's a failure.
Yes.
Because when they get together with their friends, my daughter is a doctor, is a lawyer. That's wow.
So I was supposed to be a pharmacist. All my birthday cards that my mom gave to me has future Dr. Louise Nunga. All my birthday growing up. So in her mind, it was just a matter of me finishing school. I had already become a doctor in her mind.
In her mind. That's what she's going to tell everybody.
That was the word.
That's the story, and she's going to stick with
by it.
Wow. So you being, you coming from that area, right? What are some of the challenges that you think that you faced and how did you overcome it? So somebody that is actually, because I feel like Africans, we all come to the same issue.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's some people that go through it even worse. Like example, when some people get here without papers.
Yeah, I went through that.
See?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's perfect. Mm-hmm. So how did you overcome all of that and still be a successful entrepreneur? And how did you?
No, that's a great question, because I did a YouTube video called, I think, How to Overcome the Immigrant Mindset or something. And that video was very dear to my heart because, a lot of us that come here and our papers are not straight. Mm-hmm. It's almost like what COVID did to us now, where some people are still in a fear. It creates a spirit of fear in you because you're afraid. I remember when I used to drive without, having my insurance or license, and I would drive, it had expired or something had not yet, my green card had not yet come, whatever the situation, they just tell you, put your head down, don't make any noise. Somebody could probably hit you on the road. You will keep walking. My uncle tells this story listen, my uncle told this story that when he didn't have his papers, he got into an accident. He was walking across the road. Somebody hit him, ran over him. He stood up and kept walking. because he didn't have his papers.
What can you say?
Because he was so afraid that if the police, even though he could have, if he had his papers, he probably would have, got a lawsuit and made a lot of money from insurance. But is that fear thing that then everybody is telling you, put your head down, don't make anything. You don't have your papers. You don't want to be deported. And then you keep planning that, hey, when I get my papers, the things I would do, this. When I'm just waiting for my papers. And I realized a trend that a lot of us immigrants don't outgrow that even when we get the papers.
Yes.
Because it's a whole deliverance that has to still happen in your mindset for you to feel like, you know what, I belong here. You know what, I can sit on that table. You know what, I can call now. Like some immigrants will not call 911.
Oh, yeah.
You could be hurting them and they still have that fear of calling 911 because it came from their beginning stage being in America and not feel. So certain businesses, immigrants will not like to touch.
Yes.
I touch. I don't mind. I'm gonna put my hand in it. The worst that can happen is that it don't work, but I'll learn something from it. So I'm very appreciated that God gifted me at least with having this sense of it may not work, but I'll try it. Right? That's what faith is. Faith is like, this might not work, but I try.
Try and see.
So that's how I did that, by just touching different things and not being married to it. And I think that's very important because we can get so attached to one thing and feel like this is that's where you put all your eggs in one basket. But certain things for me in life is that I'm not attached to any business that I have. Like I'm not like, oh my God, if this business failed, this is the death of me, right? Because to me, I feel like no matter what I touch, I can grow anything. As a creative person, I feel like if I'm in a great opportunity, the right resources or whatever, I can make anything happen through Christ that strengthens me. So I don't have that pressure. So I will try this. So a lot of my journey in entrepreneurship has been 17 years now of me touching so many different industries, different markets, dancing, promoting. We did the reality show. So I did media, did a movie, like entertainment, all of that situation. So I've touched a lot of different things, and I'll touch it if it doesn't work out, it was an experience that goes on my resume that I can still tap into. But my family did not, my mom especially, it was hard working into her in the beginning. We had to have family meetings and I'm like, nope, I don't want to go to pharmacy school. I took the PCAT twice and failed.
Wow.
So I was actually this close to going into pharmacy school, and thank God I failed.
So you feel like you failed because your mom, like mentally you didn't want to do it?
It wasn't my calling. I think and I worked in a pharmacy for like a few weeks and I quit. It wasn't something, I couldn't see myself just doing the same thing every day. Like I get bored very easily. Creative people will get bored very easily. Our imagination runs wild, of course we have to put it in a bottle sometimes. Yeah. But I didn't want to live a boring lifestyle. Like I wanted to really see what my because I had tested it from being Miss Cameroon and seeing people pay for me to do something that I enjoy. So after tasting it, because sometimes God has to expose you to something. He'll expose you to something for you to even know that that's possible. For it to really, like, even if it's not you, it could be a friend. Yeah. A friend can be driving a Tesla or whatever. You're like, this is possible for me. This friend can get it.
If he or she did it,
right?
Do it.
It makes you, that proximity makes you believe in something. Because if you don't really see it and you don't have somebody around you that's doing it and you don't taste it, it's kind of harder for you to have faith in it or to believe in it. So
like, you know how they say like entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
They say if you find something, you stick with it.
Yeah.
And then like from what you just said, like, you try different stuff.
Yeah.
So
that was difficult, and it still is today, right? There are different kind of entrepreneurs, right? And that's where you have to know your personality. There are entrepreneurs that are like systematic people. They are the people that they have a routine, they stick by it, they have a business, they stick by it, they do it over a course of time, and it works great. They don't mess with it, they don't try to overdo it. They don't, exactly. They just keep it the way it is, and they're very organized, very all of that. Then they are the entrepreneurs that are creatives like myself. We are the scatter ones. We are the ones that come up with innovate, and we need it. Both personalities are very needed in the marketplace. That's how we stay, in the market, because you need the creative, crazy person that will believe that we can get to the moon, and then you need the person that has been working on the equipment, on how to build the ship and the numbers or whatever they put together.
The calculations.
To do the calculations, all of that. So the creative people like myself, we didn't get popular till recently. Because in the beginning, it was the systematic creatives. Yeah. It was the business. It was the corporate. It was the, you stick to one thing. So when we came around, it was like, pick one thing. you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. Focus on one thing, you're all over the place. And da. Jane of all trade, master of none. But I realized that God gives us, we have our gift and then we have our talents.
Yeah.
Right? So I read this book by Steve Harvey called, I think, Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success. And it really helped me to figure out, because even I myself, when I started hearing those voices, like, okay, what is my one thing that I would do without sleeping? Like, if somebody woke me up from sleep, I could do it. If I had a headache, I could do it. Hair, like my hair business, I was doing hair braiding. I couldn't do that for free. Like, you had to pay me. My food business, I don't like to cook. You come to my house, we are ordering pizza. So it wasn't it. So I was just stuck in those two places. But he was like, what is that thing? It could be so small, because some of us actually underlook or overlook it, where we feel like that's how can you really monetize that? I like to talk.
Yeah.
But
see, now a podcast is all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now that we're becoming popular, that people now, they say the average millionaire has 7 streams of income.
Oh yeah.
So now they're telling you do more. Before it was like focus on one, but now it's like you better put your hands in different pots, because if one is like, for me, if the hair business is not doing well, the food business is helping to pay the bills. If the food business is not doing well, the hair is doing well. Now that I'm doing business coaching as well, so all of those things are still tapping into my gift. I think the key point is focusing on what your gift is and you know what your gift is. My gift is activation, right? Whatever sense that I touch that has to do with activating, which is why I love business coaching, because I can go in a business and activate certain things. Or why I wrote my book just started, How to Activate Your God-Gifted Business. My gift is how I will activate before thinking. Like, I don't think about the risk and everything. That you have the idea.
You jump in head
just
first.
tell me the idea. We'll come up with a plan, a short plan. We're not going to think of the 5-year goal, 10-year goal. Nah, it's not I'm not saying that this is the all, because you still need those people that are the systematic people to help you to put those together. But I am there to activate what you think that cannot be activated.
So like for somebody that how can somebody find out you're doing this for a long time? So how can somebody actually know this is my true calling?
Right. So another video, we might need to add that video in here on my YouTube. But I did how to know what your gift versus your talent is, right? And as Steve Harvey explained it, and I've also realized, your gift is something that comes to you. People will tell you what your gift is before you even know.
Yeah.
Like, what is that thing that people always come to you for? And you are looking at it like, oh, people always call me for advice. So people feel comfortable. People trust you. Oh, people always help, like me to, I don't know, decorate their house, or they want my opinion on what they're wearing. Like, I have a sister who, before I could get dressed or whatever, I will send her a picture, because she has an eye for fashion. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So if she put her mind in anything fashion related or beauty related, she would succeed and she would enjoy it. Yeah. So it's that thing that you do so effortlessly that you underlook. And it doesn't have to do with where you work or your job or whatever. It's just, what is that one thing that people you're attracted? Like, you could be dressing up, and then every time you do your hair a certain way, or people stop you for your, oh, your hair is so pretty. Who did your hair? Oh, I did. Oh, you did your hair so pretty. Oh, your clothes, the way you put your clothes together is so oh, wow, you painted. Like, it will show. If you think back, like, what is the one thing that if people are always coming to you for advice, that's something, So for me, it was like, people were always asking me, man, how did you start that business? Man, I want to start a business. They would just meet me here, I do, see what I do, and start saying, how do you start a business? I want to do this, I want to do that. And they would always talk to me about business. And then I would also respond and give them ideas. Now, when I was doing it for free, nobody was taking my ideas. Now that I charge, they're hearing me very, very well.
I intend to find out that people once you put a price tag on it, now the value go up.
Yes, they respect it, and you don't waste spit. I was tired of wasting my spit. So, but yeah, and then your talent is a skill that you can learn, or you saw around you. Like me, braiding is a talent. It wasn't something, I don't enjoy it. Like, I have one of my braiders who hair is her thing. The way she does her clients' hair, they have a different experience with her than with me. And I give an example. When she does clients' hair, she will take them through, oh, what kind of oil are you using? Your scalp seeming dry. You should use this lotion. Oh, I concocted this hair cream that can help you. Oh, don't use this. Don't perm your hair. I don't have that.
She love what she do.
That's her gift is hair. Yeah. So when she comes there, you get a whole different experience with her. She will tell you what to use. She will take her time. She's slower. She enjoys you. You have a great conversation and everything. With me, the experience is not the hair. The experience is the conversation we're about to have. The experience is we're talking, whether it's business, whether it's relationship, whether it's whatever, it's just us having that conversation and intellectual conversation while you're getting your hair done. But I don't take that time out to see, it's not my thing. Now, business, talking about business, like that's my thing. So if I come, I like the way, have you thought about putting together a business for fashion? Oh, I like your shoes. This is what you do. So I'm always like the doctor that's looking for diagnosis of what your gift is. So you just got to figure out which one is a skill and a talent and which one is really like a gift that you will find it in everything you do.
So talking about skills and talent, right?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes you might be really good at something, but because you do it for free, like we said, there's no price tag, so there's no value in it. But then again, you can be tired of doing stuff for free all the time. Like you just want to do it free.
Yeah.
So how can somebody monetize? Like, okay, let's say if I find this is my niche, like, okay, let's say podcast, this is my thing.
Yeah.
How can I monetize that? You being in the business field, like, is there any way, like any shortcut where I can monetize that?
So, with that, monetizing it as well, it's a journey, right? Where you can start, and it has to do with you also having confidence in your craft and having faith in what you do, right? So that's where you need people that are going to come in and help you monetize. I took the long way in business because I didn't feel like I had to pay somebody to tell me what to do. YouTube, Google is there, YouTube is there. Why would I have to pay you money for you to give me a strategy or a blueprint on how to do this? I will learn this for free. I have time. And it took me longer. So now I pay coaches. So I'm looking for the next, as I finish with one coach, I'm moving on to the next coach to bring an expertise that I don't have.
Yes.
So if you're struggling with like charging people or whatever, when you pay a coach, you will not have that problem.
Because you're paying.
When you are paying to perfect your craft, or you're paying to educate yourself, you're paying for somebody to train you, or paying for somebody to consult with you, or paying for whatever it is, that's the quickest way for you to not have a problem charging. And the more you pay, the more you feel comfortable charging. Because now my price point increased because the coach that I'm paying now, if you told Louise 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago that I would pay that amount for a coach to just tell me what to do, I would have told you, you are stupid. So that's the easiest way, is hire somebody who has that strength that you don't have and let them help you monetize your gift. Than to say you figure it out a day at a time. That thing is false. It's not one day at a time. One day at a time doing the same thing, you will still be there 10 years from there.
So now, like nowadays, right? It's more like everybody is entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with somebody, and I told them there's two types. Not everybody's an entrepreneur. Most people are self-made.
Yeah.
There's a difference between self-made and entrepreneur. And he was like, what do you mean? Because entrepreneurs, like you said, you build businesses.
Yeah.
And even if you're not around, the business can still go on.
Yeah.
That's how I look at entrepreneurs. Self-made is somebody that you're working for yourself. So you just, without you, the business will not run. So like, without you, because like real entrepreneurs, they build the business, they set everything up, they have people working. So they could take vacation for a whole year.
So you're like a freelancer, you're like a freelancer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you like? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the journey takes both parts of it. You should start off as a freelancer, but you should be building it, scaling your business on how can you scale your business to where you can live the lifestyle that we all see on YouTube, YouTube commercial, where you're on the island somewhere, and I can work. Yes, you can work from your computer, somewhere in the island, whatever. That's the goal, is that you want to be able to have your business function, but we all had to start as freelancers, but you can't get stuck as a freelancer. Like right now for me, there's certain things in my business that are literally on life support, because I'm like, I had already hired people for that. I need to hire somebody to do that because I need to focus on the bigger picture, on the things that nobody else can do, right? So, but I've seen a lot of people, like you said, where they've been stuck in the freelancer point, and they still have the same fees that they charge. They will charge still cheap, where you're like, that's all you charge or whatever. They are still, in the same in the same environment. Their network has not changed. Their habits have not changed, because as you're scaling, the thing I love about business is that business to me is almost like counseling and therapy and a ministry, because it literally teaches you so many life lessons. Your faith will have to grow to do business. Your patience, like literally all the fruit of the Holy Spirit, where they say long sufferings, love, unity, all of that good stuff. You have to learn all those things to really be successful, to have your mind right in business. Because business is, being an entrepreneur is ghetto. It's ghetto. It's very ghetto. So if you're a freelancer, you get comfortable. Freelancers that stay there, you get comfortable. And for some people, hey, they don't want much. There's some restaurants that have been open for 35 years, 40 years. There's one old couple, they don't want to scale.
Like
they have
yes,
they don't want to scale, and they're comfortable that way. They like it like that. That's fine. But if you have a desire where you're seeing somebody else's Instagram post and your heart skips a bit, then that means that that's not what
that's
path
not for you.
That was not the path that was for you.
Yes.
So don't get comfortable and say, no, it's okay, I'm comfortable. But then you look at somebody else's thing and you have a little envy, a little some taste in your mouth or whatever. With the being a freelancer, the goal is to grow, right? Like I told a story about my journey in entrepreneurship. It started with one thing, and all of it led to where I am today.
Okay.
And I just had to keep going here, because it's not a linear, up road.
Right.
It's literally up and down, side to side, front, back, going back, coming forward. But I really wish that I had gotten wise counsel earlier, so that way I would have been able to scale my business earlier. Because now I'm trying to scale the business because I've been a freelancer for such a long time. And I didn't make that cut till I really had to start getting outside people like, dude, you can get this. You need help.
So let me ask you this. Looking at what you have achieved now, right?
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur and all that, looking back, if you was able to go all the way back,
Yeah.
would you still take entrepreneurship or would you work a 9 to 5?
I would do both. I would do both.
How? Oh, I mean, why? Because
I would do both because if I knew my weaknesses, there are some people that are great at certain things, whether it's putting together a nice business plan to get capital, grants, to working capital to be able to sustain the business. Because at the end of the day, the ideas I have for free, they are free. But the business is not, to build the business is not for free.
Yeah.
You need working capital to be able to get to where you want to go. So if I had to do it over, I would have found a job that I kind of liked, or maybe close to what I like doing, that can bring that consistent paycheck while I'm still growing my business on the side. And growing my business almost like a 401k or an investment, whatever, stocks or whatever. Like my business would be my stocks or my retirement plan or whatever that is, where I'm building on the side. And then use the money that I'm working from a 9 to 5 to fund my business. And then give myself a time, whether it's a 5-year goal, a 3-year goal, or 6, 7, 10 years, whatever goal that is. And I didn't know that because it's now that people talk about it now, where they made that transition, right? They worked, but they were building their business on the side. And then eventually the business starts making them more income, then they start working and go to the business. I jealous that path because that path is very sexy to me right now. Because with us, we were in the ghetto. We was in the hood, you know what I'm saying? We
trying to make it out.
Listen, we were eating gari and, peanuts and whatnot. So it seems, I don't know. I can, God has a way of doing things or whatever. But if I was to choose, I would have liked the soft life. Because to me, that's the soft life entrepreneurship.
But it seems like that's the soft life, soft life, right? But I feel like once you start doing that, you cannot pay attention to the business. Like everybody said, your business is like a baby.
Yeah.
You need all your attention.
Yeah. And that's why when I talk to people, like when I consult with people now, that they're like, I want to quit my job and just do a full-time entrepreneur. And I'm like, listen, don't dishonor the work that is paying your bills, because again, entrepreneurship is hard. It's not easy. It's a very hard lifestyle. It's literally a lifestyle that we chose, right? If you have a goal, so for that to work, it probably wouldn't have worked for my personality type.
Okay.
Because with me, when I'm invested in something, it has my focus. So I probably would have been getting fired from one job to the other, to the other, to the other, because I've been missing work or calling off or I don't feel like it. But if I had a goal that I'm trying to raise 50,000, I'm trying to raise 100,000, and it's going to take me 5 years, 7 years to work this job to raise it, and I'm still building my business, and I really have faith in that business, that's different than somebody that's saying, I'll take it a day at a time. I'm just using this to fund my business, but they don't really have a cap. or a goal that you're trying to reach. Like, what is that goal that you're trying? It's just like if you're buying a house, you know what your down payment is.
Yeah.
So you're saving money, you're, doing what you need to do until you make that money, then you make the switch.
But
you will miss out on some entrepreneurial opportunities, of course. You're not going to fully explore. Like, I was able to touch different things because I've never really worked a full-time job more than a year in my whole entire life. But that's a different story. So that was in college. But I was able to touch different things that I'm able to help other people now to say, yeah, I kind of touched that. Go here, don't go here, try this way or whatever. But I think that people that are doing it the a little bit safe, but with a goal where it's like the job is a working capital for you. It's not something that you're trying to climb the ladder. And some people get stuck because they give them promotion, they give them overtime, they suck them in. The money looks good. They have bought a bigger house. And now the bigger house now means that they have to really, really stay on the work. So it depends on the kind of personality that you have. If you're really those people that you're like, nope, I will stay in this studio apartment. I don't care if they're paying me 6 figures. I have a bigger goal to do this. Then, yeah, you can do it.
So it's more discipline.
It takes more discipline.
But when you have kids, right, it's a whole different story.
Right.
Because now you have to take care of the kids. So you need the job money.
Absolutely. I was lucky because with me, when I started having kids, I was still married. So my spouse at the time was able to cover me during that season. But if I was a single mom doing business and then I started having kids, yeah, that would be difficult. You need to have some kind of consistent income coming in that can at least pay the bare minimum. So for me, by the time that I was divorced or whatever, my income for my business was at a level where at least we can pay our bills to be able to eat and everything or whatever. So, yeah, it just depends on your situation. But knowing also you have to know your personality trait. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you an ambivert like me? Because once you know yourself, it kind of helps you to know what kind of business will work for you. What kind of environment works for you? What kind of dealings? You need to know your personality earlier. I wish I knew my personality earlier and met other people like myself that I felt comfortable to be myself and embrace myself. Because you don't want to try to build something that is not. If you know you don't like being around people, why would you be an event planner? You don't like people. It's okay. Yeah. You're an introvert.
It will never work out.
It could work out, but you'll be a freelancer forever. And there are promoters that we know that are still in the clubs today. Because technically, people it's the party of, it's not really your main, it was a skill set that they had. Yeah. Or an opportunity that just kept growing, but you're stuck just in that one place.
So do you feel like somebody could be a skill set and then end up being a real, building something that they, not really a skill set, but it could be like something you just pick up along the road, but then they end up being your career. And
absolutely.
End up loving it?
Yes.
Is it possible?
There are professional basketball players that's the skill set. They didn't just wake up, there are singers that we hear all the time that they said they really wanted to be a teacher. I don't know if it's Whitney Houston or somebody that said that they would have been a teacher if they weren't a singer. Imagine if you're singing somewhere in the street or your talent show and somebody picks you up. Your goal was to be a police officer and somebody say, your voice will pay you 10 million to sing. You will sing.
Oh yeah. Make it one. Make it one. 1 million. 1 million.
You will sing, and the money keeps adding. You will keep singing.
Of course.
Right. But eventually, when you get older, you start seeing that you start craving. You will not be fully content with it because you feel like something is still lacking. And I think some people that are even rich. I have family members that are well successful, but because they didn't fully explore their creative side, they're not happy. They have insomnia at night. They have issues. When they see somebody else doing what they wanted to do, their heart starts, breaking a little bit because they're like, man, I always wanted to do that, right? So the way to do that is that even if something is paying your money, and please take the 10 million, but along the way, right? For anybody else, I'm not trying to say don't take the 10 million. Take it fast. But make sure that you still feed your gift. It could be in nonprofit. It could be in something that you just do as a hobby. There are people that do that where they love fashion or whatever, but maybe they're in, work for CNN. Yeah. They can start a nonprofit for fashion shows or whatever on the side just to feed that. A lot of people do that, you know what I mean? So just make sure that you feed that gift of yours. And it's not about the money because your gift doesn't know the money. Your gift is not going to operate only when money comes. Your gift operates in Walmart, in Target, on the aisle, while you're it will work anytime. So you just have to feed it the same way you feed everything else.
So tell me this: What do you think when you start your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your family members and your friends, the people that was really close to you, was they like supporting you 100%, or
No.
how was it?
And that had to come. It took me 5 years for me to even post that this is my business, like my hair braiding business, because I was ashamed of my businesses.
Why?
I know, right? You would think so. Now it's like, why?
Yeah, why? 'Cause
let me elaborate. So Miss Cameroon, I won Miss Cameroon.
Yeah.
I'm in college for pre-pharmacy. Everybody, all the uncles and aunties, you're going to school to be a pharmacist. Our doctor.
Yes.
And Miss Cameroon, fine girl, so pretty, so this or that. Then I'm braiding hair. And back then, hair braiding, it's not what it is now. This is like 15 years ago.
Okay.
So hair braiding was considered, very local, low level kind of situation. So how am I going to school to be a doctor, Miss Cameroon, and braiding people's hair? Then I also touched the food business, puff puff. You guys call it Profort.
Yep.
Puff puff is not filet mignon. Puff puff is not, wedding cake or something exclusive. This is street food. It's street. I don't know why God always has me touching the things that are very, that's my own anointing. I touch the small local things and then bring it to shininess and all whatnot. So for 5 years, I would only promote my business to Americans. When I go out there, I pass business cards in Walmart, Americans, like none of my friends knew I like braided professional, like very few. And they didn't really come to me to do their hair because, again, it's not my gift. That's not something, even till today, it's not my gift. Like you wouldn't see me and be like, I want you to do my hair. I have to just sell you the idea, the business of itself. If I tell you, okay, my hair business, we're like the Uber of hair braiding. You go on our app, you find a braider near you, and we come to your house. It's the business that I can sell. But the hair braiding part is not my anointing. It's just a skill set that I have. So I was ashamed of it, both businesses, until I don't know what book is the more knowledge I started listening to other people, reading, like I said, Steve Harvey, reading more books, watching people started coming up or whatever. And I figured out how to package my gift, because the way you package something is just like how when you dress up, the way you go out there and you talk to people is different.
Yeah.
If you're not packaging your gift properly, then you will feel that this is not what, if you're wearing rags or whatever, then you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
But when I learned how to package it, because my braiders, we have uniforms, we had a website, we have a toolbox. Like when I packaged it right, we did a professional photo shoot or whatever, we had a system in place, then I started advertising it, right? But my family was just like, puff puff. My mom was like, puff puff. Of all the things, I brought you to America to come and sell puff puff. Because when it was just an idea, they couldn't really fathom what it was. But when I made the package and actually made the first prototype, they were like, wow. Oh, my mom packages my puff puff in the kitchen now.
Wow.
She's a kitchen manager.
Mama, thank you. So you feel like if somebody if you have a dream, a dream, or if you're trying to start a business, you should first finalize it before you show it to the public, or?
No, you have to just go. You still have to do it. What does it do is scared. But what I'm learning is that you have to have a mixture of people that you're showing it to, because you do want critique. I like to be critiqued, especially in business. I may not want you to critique certain other areas of my life, but for business, I want critiques. So I choose people that I know are high critiques, because if they tell me it's good, then it's really good. If they say, watch out for this, and I still like that thing, I might still discredit what they're saying. But I have people now that are creators, business people. Like you have to pick a group of people that are well balanced, because if you're showing it only to people that do not see, and we shouldn't fault people for not seeing what God has given you in a vision, right? God gives you the vision. I didn't see what he gave you, so I'm going to question everything you do. And for me, people can love you out of the dream. It's not that they're hating. People will say, oh, don't mind the haters, whatever. No, it's not hate, because then my whole family are haters. But it was literally their love for me, that if I had listened to their love for me, then I would have missed God's love for me, for what I was supposed to be. That was the whole bar right there. That was deep right there. That was a whole bar. I felt that in my shannon now. You know what I'm saying? Right, because people can love you outside of what God has called you to do, or outside of God's love. And that's your own language. That's what they see you. Because for me, like I said, I was Miss Cameroon. So people felt like Miss Cameroon should always come like this. This is not my regular face every day, okay? This face here was for today. But people feel like I should be a certain way. I should dress a certain way. I should be in a certain career. I should pick, I should be either a pharmaceutical salesperson, the sexy little ladies that go to the hospital to see the doctors and sell pills. That's what everybody was giving me their own hint. And I'm like,
that's not what you want.
It's not bringing, it's not really tasting good in my mouth. So, but me just being hard-headed, honestly, my hard-headed paid off, right? Me being hard-headed, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna still see for myself. I think there's that lady on TikTok that's like, I'm gonna see for myself. So I just kept saying, I'm gonna see for myself. Like, if it's not gonna work, let me at least try it and say I've tried it. Like, to me, a creative person, until you birth an idea, it literally will torment you.
Yeah.
Like, if I have something, it's just like if you have this shoot, this angle that you want to capture.
You have to. Everything else that you would do will not look right.
At all. Like, it will be bothering you. Like, I need to test. I just need to. It's almost like a focus that I'm like, let me just get it. Then when you do it, you take a deep breath and you're over it and you move to the next thing. So my family didn't support it. They had to see the fruit of it first. And I don't blame them for that. I can't fault them. You can't fault people for that, right?
Yeah.
You just have to know that who gave you this vision. If this is something that God put, a desire that God put in your heart, then that's what your focus should be. But then what your family is doing also is going to help you shape what God has given you. Right? Joseph, on his journey in the Bible, whatever, he still needed his brothers to sell him into slavery.
To become the man.
To become the man that God called him to be. If his brother had not sold him for slavery, he would have had a good life in his father's house, but it would have not been what he was called to be in Egypt. So I would take those things as energy, like, oh, this person noticed something. They said it in a mean way, but there's one or two things that make sense in what this. Take that one or two and spit out the rest. Don't just discredit that person is a hater.
Yeah, but sometimes it really hurts when somebody really close to you, especially your own family members, when they would rather go buy it from the person across the street, knowing that you can do it better.
And they still do.
Yeah. And
it shouldn't hurt you. Eventually, it shouldn't hurt you because you do it too. We all do it, right? And everybody has like they say, your voice has a specific group of people that it resonates. Like, my voice is not for everybody. There's certain people that I speak and they cry. There's certain people that I speak and they're just quiet and then they're yawning. So it's the same thing in services. It's the same thing in businesses. I have family members. They don't come. I don't do my family members hair. Like, most of them don't come to me for any.
They want it free anyway.
Right.
They want it free here.
They want it with discounts.
They're like, that's my sister.
That's my sister. No way, I know. Dude, when I used to answer the phone, if I heard an African accent, my accent changed from African to American. Like, I was, because all of the you're my sister. I'm like, bro, and all of them was always a discount situation. But yeah, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. They're not called. The bread aisle has over 200 different types of bread on that aisle. And all of them are making money because everybody has a specific texture, way they like it, feeling they want to get, calling, they can be called to a certain kind of, so it's nothing personal. Let's not look at it as, oh, they're not supporting me, you support somebody. They're just not. Then that means you don't trust God, that God has a group of people that he has literally anointed to be.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, because this same people that they're not really trusting you, that they're not really bringing you the job, right?
Yeah.
Those are the same people that when their money comes,
they know you then.
They'll be right there.
Yeah.
So first of all, you didn't help me build this, so why should I? No, but then if I don't give it to you, it's a problem. Right. Now it's like, oh, I'm your brother, and why you didn't give it to me? But remember, the journey was rough.
I have so that's why I said, in business, it literally would, if you do business the right way, the God-gifted business. Now, there's different types of business. For me, I focus on business with biblical principles. Business, the Christian way, where you're working with the Holy Spirit, you're working with God to be able to give you a business that adds no sorrow. Because I don't want a business that adds sorrow. I don't want a with that I have to lose everything and not see my children, and my children grow up not hating me. You see, I'm here with them, schooling and whatever, that situation. So, forgiveness and offense is a big thing that all of us, especially in business, you have to be able to control or overcome. You have to be able to get delivered from that. Okay. You have to stay unoffended to be able to succeed in business. You have to constantly be forgiven to able to be like, to see clearly of what God has for you, to be able to scale your business clearly. Like, you have to be literally grow to a space where, just like celebrities say, like, there are celebrities that you can say whatever about them. It doesn't faze them. They'll still be themselves.
Yeah,
and those are the ones that are able to scale your business. Now, they may not be doing it for the church or whatever, but trust me, they're able to forgive and let go and still deal with those people later on or whatever, however, but it works out for them better. So there are people that I've done business with later on in life that duped me in the beginning of the business, but they became a blessing 10 years down the road because I forgave them.
Wow.
I would have missed that blessing that they were meant to give to me if I had remembered that, this one 10 years ago, you stole my $10.
You know Africans, we don't forget.
And this was a family member. This was my aunt. This was a family member that, you know, I gave her some things to sell. Like I bought these things, gave it to her. She was like, I'll sell that. And then after that, it was like, no call, no show, no da-da-da-da. But guess what? Almost, let me see, what was it? Like 10 years later, she literally helped create a recipe for one of my products.
Wow.
Because she's a great cook or whatever. And I just forgot, but she's and we're close to, like, we're cool today. And I don't bring that up. I forgot about that because I'm like, I'm not going to miss my blessing because now she uncomfortable. That's why she worked extra hard to make sure she did it right, because I was not bringing up old things or whatever because, you know, hey, this is a new thing or whatever. Let's do it. So you have to stay unoffended. A customer curses you out. Yeah, have your 1 day or 2 days of moments, but you better leave it alone because and still be like, thank you for your services. Oh, you have a blessed day. Because white people understand this. Caucasians understand that.
Because one thing I realized is that bad news spread faster. So one customer could say, oh no, the food is not good, and everybody will be like 10 people, even people that didn't even try it, will be like, yeah, the food is not good.
Right.
All because one person said that. And
Facts.
the person that probably said that didn't even like you.
Didn't try it. Oh, didn't even like, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do you, like, you know, talking about family, how do you balance family and business? Like, how do you do that?
You're asking that question. I feel like I get asked that question all the time. As you see, I brought the children with me. This is how I balance it. We all going to shoot, and I'm going to yell at you and discipline in the midst of filming, but we all going to get it together. Family and business, I think the harder part of it is really, family is easier to handle in business. As your business becomes more visible. In the beginning, it is, you know, like when I say family, like your parents or aunties or uncles or whatever, the older people and whatnot, it's harder in the beginning for them, right? Because they have a vision of who you're supposed to be. You know, how much money you're supposed to be making. They have invested in you. They want to see their returns. But I think the harder part is marriage and business. That gets a little bit complicated because with relationships and business, people pick two routes. Either one will say, I'm doing my own thing, you do your own thing, it's my business, you have your job or whatever, and we'll meet at home. And then there are other people that, you know, build together and build it together, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. For me, I am one of those people that believe in building together. Like if you're married or a couple or whatever, I think building something together, because marriage is a ministry, and whatever you're birthing out of that, and God will bless that, because, you know, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor. So building together as a couple and being transparent and being accountable, it reduces some of the risk that business owners or entrepreneurs face. Because as a business owner or entrepreneur, you kind of have a similar lifestyle like what celebrities, singers, or musicians goes through, because you have to go to events, you have to talk to, if you're a man, you have to talk to women. You have to socialize with the opposite sex. It's not like a, you know, corporate job that, okay, even with that one, you're meeting the same people every day, and maybe your wife or husband may know your co-workers. But this one, if you're in business, you're meeting random people all the time. Yeah. And let your business not be a big business that you're traveling internationally, you're meeting people, you're, you know, events. So there's constantly going to be temptation to do other stuff, or temptation to deviate from each other, where you say, okay, you stay at home or I'll go or whatever. For me, I feel like trying to close that gap as much as possible, whether your spouse is business oriented or not, is where it gets a little bit shaky, is how do you combine that, your marriage with the business? Because I don't believe in being a different personality with business and being a different personality in relationships. I feel like your whole self should be all around. Like the same way, if you cheat in business, you're going to cheat on me. If you have integrity in your business, you're going to have integrity with me. If you are people, you know, your customer service with people, you're nice to people, you're going to be nice to me. So that whole, you know, let's talk business. So we're talking business now. My face now will change. I have to bring like be yourself, so that, because to me, business is a relationship. Yeah. I don't look for drive-by shootings with business. I look for long, like we've known each other for years. You know what I mean? So we have rapport, even though we've never done major business or whatever. But from the beginning, we knew that, oh, this is an entrepreneur. We're going to stay connected. One day we'll do something. Yes. And here we are today. So for me, it's a relationship. So if you see that, okay, you've seen me honor somebody else, or you've seen me when I come make deliveries, I'm nice to people, I'm talking to them, you're like, No, I trust Louise. I think, yeah, that's somebody that I think, would be good for this opportunity. One day somebody will say, I have this $1 million check
Yes.
that I want to invest in the food business.
Yes.
Ooh, and my name will just
Yeah,
miraculously
of course.
drop in your spirit, in your
Yes.
shanana to
Yes.
call. So the hardest balance is when it has to do with marriage and children, that I feel like business has to really be very careful. And my what I would want, it may be different for other people, is to marry both, where it's not mine or yours or our, it's
Put
our,
them
this is what
together.
we are building, right? And then try to close the gap and accountability.
Wow. So you feel like being a female entrepreneur, is it harder or you feel like it will be the same thing as a male entrepreneur?
No, it's totally different. I don't know. Everybody has a different perspective. I've never really thought about it harder. For me, I would say being a female is harder because we are the birthing ones, right? Please don't call us female birthing people nowadays with all this different I'm a woman. I'm a female. But when you start having children or marriage or whatever, the burden kind of falls mainly on, because we're the relationship-driven beings. Like, men are not naturally like the relationship-driven. They were not created like that, right? So for us, it becomes a little bit harder because we're trying to balance so many different hats. So for me, again, it's been the same thing in my mothering, being a single mom and all whatnot, is that I involve my children in my business. Like, we'll travel, we'll make deliveries, we'll go, if I'm speaking engagement, we're going together. I'm involving them in what I'm doing. I'm teaching them what I'm doing. So we started homeschooling, so that way they can really, really be around me. And if I want to travel out of the country, because I see I've had opportunities open up for me to travel, I'm not going to leave them here and say, let me leave them with my mom or leave them with somebody or whatever. I just don't want to be that kind of a mother. I grew up not being in the same household with my parents, and I see what it can do in the future.
Yeah.
And I don't want to repeat that. So for me, I'd rather be suffering and sweating, with my children delivery, like from when my babies were 2 weeks old or whatever, we're delivering together, and like literally store owners know all my they know my children by name. They would advise me, whatever. So they know them. They've seen them grow up, right? So I just include them in everything, so that way I can do everything that I want to do without having to wear too many hats, reducing the hats. So it is harder for us because when children or marriage gets involved in your marriage, when my marriage was falling apart, the business had to pause, because I'm just like, yo, now he could still work, because a man is gonna be a man. He still gotta work. But for me, it was like, my hat is out of my chair. I can't stand, I can't sit, I can't do anything, I can't function. So I think it's hard on us because So
what advice would you give to a younger entrepreneur? It can be either a male or female.
Younger entrepreneur.
Yeah. What advice would you tell them?
Grow your spiritual life. I think most of us grew up, especially Africans, who grew up as Christians, right? We went to church. Our parents forced us to go to church and whatnot. And unfortunate for us, and unfortunate for me, it took a storm for me to really grow my relationship with God and really figure out who is my spirit man. Because like we know, you have your spirit, you have your soul, you have your flesh. Your spirit, when the Bible says he has gifted you all the blessings that you need, anything that you need, he has already given you. He's not giving your flesh, he gave your spirit, man. But based on life experiences, trauma, what you went through as a child, your soul is traumatized, your soul is in unforgiveness, your soul is dealing with, envy, jealousy, whatever. So when your spirit is telling you, man, move, take a left, you're called to greatness. Your soul is telling your flesh, nah.
It's comfortable with it.
Right. Oh, no. But remember that last time that you tried it, nobody came to your party. Remember that in your child. Remember your father did not show up for your birthday party, that people don't really like you. Do you sure you want to start this business or you want to do so? Our soul doesn't permit our flesh to really hear clearly from our spirit man. And so a lot of things get distorted. And that's how we end up in situations that were like, oh my God, like, how did I get here or whatever? Or I'm afraid. Like, people have fear to start a business. Yeah. That fear is not coming from your spirit. Your spirit man is like, we got this. We're going to do it. Your soul is like, I don't know about that. Remember that last time? Remember, so I think building your spirit man makes it so much easier to scale your business, because God is the most creative. Like, this Holy Spirit is the most creative being. Like, he spoke words and word were created. So there is no guru that is better than God that created. Like, He has your instructional manual.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, if you can't hear your instructional manual, which is your spirit man, then it's going to take you longer to get there. Like, for me, it took me longer to get there. Like, for me, it took me going through a messy divorce to be able to think that working on your spirit man is like how they say, do affirmations first thing in the morning, to do those affirmations in front of the mirror and all of that. It works. I mean, it's short term, because the ultimate affirmation, in my opinion, is, the biblical affirmations. But there's something about most successful entrepreneurs have a spiritual ritual.
Yeah.
They have some kind of meditation that they got to do. They have some kind of, whether it's exercise or running early first, they have something that builds up your spirit man so that it speaks through your soul to your flesh to be able to function for that day.
To get connected. So
right.
You're good to go for the
Right. Because in business, you don't want to walk into every open door.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit on every table.
Yeah. I always say, like, not all money are good money. Some money is not meant for you.
Yep.
So you just have to let it go.
Yep.
But I feel like, when we first started businesses, right, we need that money so bad that we would just jump
everything.
to everything. If they say, oh, this money, this job, they're paying this, we just jump to it.
Yep.
But then come to find out your time and the effort that you will put is not even worth that much. So.
And the thing is that once you know your spirit man better, it will tell you what kind of money, even if it doesn't give you the details. It'll be like, I don't know about this. Something off about this person, or something off about this deal. I don't know what it is, but there's something, all right, let me investigate more, right? But when your spirit man is just there, let's go twerk in the club for $500. You will go. You need the money or whatever. Before you know it, if you're not a strong person, they introduce drug to you in that club. Before you know it, something happen. Before you know it again, before you know it, 10 years later, you're like, I was supposed to be there for just one night.
Yes. Right?
And let's not even go too extreme on that side. It could be a great opportunity. That seems good. That you're like, yo, this opportunity is great. It's going to be in a different state, but we just need you to come once a month or whatever. You still have to, your spirit man have to be able to vet situations so that you don't build the wrong thing. Because you can still build a good thing, but it's not the good thing for you.
So how can you know the difference though?
You build your spirit man.
Yeah, like when you build it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be, there's been times that I wanted to go to certain places and I was like, nah, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But then I end up going. Something good came out of it.
Yeah. I've had those so many times recently, and it still happens because it's not about your flesh. It's not about a good feeling. Your spirit man and your flesh are enemies. That's what the Bible says. Like your flesh and your spirit man, they're enemies.
Okay, so they're always
in back. Right. Like sometimes your flesh might be feeling something real good and it's still good. And sometimes your flesh might be like, who likes to go to the gym to work? Do you like to eat salad? You like to eat your banku and your okra and whatnot. But if you're trying to get fit,
fried fish, and
if you're trying to go to the gym to work out, you don't feel like it, but you wake up because your flesh starts telling your spirit like, nah, we need this. We're trying to do this. We're trying to lose this weight. We're trying to build this muscle, whatever it is. And you start speaking more from a spiritual side, not from your fleshly side. So
how do you stay motivated on your goals?
How do I stay motivated? I have a great group of people around me.
Okay.
And again, it's cliche, but it still started from me growing my spirit man, because when you grow your spirit man, then you start attracting what you need to speak to it, right? So if you grow your flesh and you don't grow your spirit man, you're going to attract your fleshly stuff that has nothing to do with your spirit man. So everything still boils down to you getting on that spiritual journey for God, like for you to really be that true Christian, that Christ, that Holy Spirit filled person. And people think that when you talk about Holy Spirit or Jesus or whatever, with saying that you should be a preacher or whatever. No, God is moving through people in the market. God needs, like, this is a season that a lot of Christians are in the marketplace. There are a lot of opportunities that God is opening up for us, that it's comfortable now to be a Christian in the marketplace and still bring Jesus with you. So for me, the way I vet a situation is, okay, does this line up with biblical principles? Can I check mark? And most of them you can check mark, right? If there are little things that you'd be like, there's this one thing here that is bothering me, right?
Yeah.
So if I check it, okay, this doesn't break any biblical laws. Number two is, okay, my blueprint, the kind of lifestyle, I'm a mom now, so I have to consider, does this take me away from my kids? Like, God is not going to give you something that is meant to break you or give you sorrow. So God is not going to take me on an opportunity and say, but leave your children with somebody or leave them in a position that they may end up being, not well taken care of. That's not going to be God. So I vetted through those procedures, and then I talked to people that are like-minded. I have sisters in Christ. I have brothers in Christ. I have accountability parents that I call to say, hey, this is what I feel like God is telling me to do, but I'm not really sure because this sounds a little bit, and they're able to walk me through like, no, that's just you. You can do this or you can't do this. So I have a great group of friends that I can call that have different giftings.
So your support system is good.
It's good now. But I couldn't get there. Like, this is after when I went through a messy divorce, and I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I'm off because I thought that this is it. Like, this was a God-given marriage, in my opinion. And then all hell broke loose, and I was like, wait, I need to find myself. Like, I'm missing something here. And so when I did my spiritual healing and my spiritual walk, then I naturally started attracting those different persons. So I have a friend that if I call, she don't want to hear me crying. There's no, oh my God, are you okay? She's like, okay, what we doing? How are we doing this? What's the plan? Okay, I need you to do this. Then I have a friend that when I'm feeling like I just want to curse somebody out, I just want to vent, I just want to throw, and I call her, oh, it's okay. She will comfort me. If I'm crying, she'll cry with me, for that moment or whatever. Okay, but what are you? So I have friends with different, I have a fivefold ministry friendship. I have a apostolic friendship. I have pastoral friendship. I have evangelist. So everybody, I have a prophetic friend that I can call that, okay, what is God saying? And they can pray with me or whatever. So I really have a great support system that
support you and
share the same values.
And there's like one thing that I always say is that when you always we intend to look at the problems.
Yeah.
But if the problem is there, look for a solution.
Yep.
We rather sit down one place and then just be like, oh, I'm going through this, or I'm not going outside. No, look, okay, if you're short on your rent, first thing you should do, go online and see who is hiring.
Yep.
Or who's doing something.
Can you DoorDash, something?
Exactly. But we would rather sit down
take it a day at a time. And even Christians doing that too, saying that God is going to provide. I am fasting and praying. That
God give you the energy so you can go.
No, they are fast. The money will fall from the sky. The prophet has said one day somebody will just come and drop money in your front door and pay.
Yeah, but the person is outside waiting for you.
Right.
You have to step out so you can see.
And that's the difference between this whole, religious Christianity and actually having a relationship with your Father and your Maker and the Holy Spirit, because it don't add up. You know what I mean? Because God is very practical. It's not magic that you just say, oh, like some of us that are single that we want to remarry. We can't be sitting at home passing up. You have to go out there. If it's dating sites, or you try. Even if it doesn't work out, but at least you have to be putting yourself out there and try. Announcing, I emceed one of my little sisters. I call her my little sister, but her traditional wedding on Saturday.
Okay.
I was on the MC. I'm saying, hey, I'm single and searching.
Yes.
If anybody here knows a uncle or brother or whatever, because this is a good family, good grounds. I'm single. Let them know whatever the situation. And you have to be out there. That's what faith is. Faith is not that. Closed mouth don't get fed.
Exactly. Closed mouth never get fed. So when is the best time for somebody to celebrate their achievement? Or you think there's no time as an entrepreneur?
Oh, that's a good question. So as creatives, we don't celebrate ourselves enough.
Okay.
I have that problem. And I have a friend for that to remind me.
Why is that?
That is like, Louise, do you know that you just did this? And I'm like, but that's, to us, it's so small because we're so futuristic driven.
The picture is bigger than.
Oh my God. And we're bulldozing and create, because even when you were introducing me and say she's done this and da, like I have to sit sometimes, somebody has to remind me to sit in my seat to take, Louise, you were the first to do this. You were this is not normal. But to me, it's normal. To me, it's like, when you say the hardest working businesswoman, I blink a little because I'm just like, I feel like I'm lazy. I'm really I'm not. I feel like the potential that I have in me, I'm like 20%. You know what I'm saying? But to the world, it's like this big thing. So creative people, we enjoy it as immediately it happens, 10 minutes later, we have forgotten about it. We've moved on to the next excitement.
So what about the people that go to the club and celebrate, like, oh, we're going to club, pop bottles for our success?
Deal or whatever. And we can do that, but to us, it's like driven people don't have enough. We don't create time to celebrate. I have to be reminded, even my birthdays or whatever, like now that I have kids, I have to, like, I'm trying to show them because they're like, Mommy, you don't do nothing. You're not going to get no gifts. You're not going to get whatever. So I'm trying to show them I'm happy.
Yes.
I'm so happy that I'm alive for another birthday. And then it's a good example. But because you're coming for your business is like you're serving. So for us, it's not the feedback is not us celebrating and getting the accolades. Well, for me, but it's more so like, okay, I've solved this problem. Okay, there's a solution. There's a problem here. I need to solve it. Like for me now, my food business, I have a manufacturing issue. When I solve it, I will take a deep breath.
And then the next thing comes.
It's like a high. It's like I don't know what word to call it, but it's like an adrenaline high comes. It's like it builds up. And then as soon as it's achieved, not when people know. I'm talking about when I know that it's achieved. It's not in the club that we're like, It's literally like when I've paid or found the person or hired, I celebrate then. That's my celebration. Then I'm done with it. Then I'm on to the next problem to solve.
So what is something that you've done in your milestone that you was like, okay, this is it. Like I'm really happy about this on business wise?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Business wise, because I've had so many different milestones at different points. You see, is that ungrateful thing again of a creative? I'm serious.
No, you're like, it was
like,
okay.
Right. But if I say the other, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I think really fully stepping into business coaching and pricing myself at a valuable price point, which was very hard. And then getting other people to actually, because you never know you're valuable until people are willing to pay what you're saying without discounts.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, that's how much? Oh, wow, that's an eyeful, but yeah, you're worth it. I think my most recent client, NFL player that I met by situation like what you mentioned, somebody invited me to this networking event. I didn't feel like it. I really didn't feel like it, but because I honor that person, it's an older person. He literally was just like, hey, I used to come. I'm on the road. I was in my bed. I wasn't going to go. So I'm just like, okay, I'll be running late though. I'm coming, but traffic, I'm coming. Yeah. And I went there and he connected me with this NFL player who was opening up a business and hired me on the spot. Like, just was like, I need you on my team, on the team. And it was such an amazing experience. But things like that are highlights for me because I look at myself still from a humble perspective that, I'm not a socialite that I go to like celebrity events or whatever. This is this person. I'm talking about the mayor comes there. They are connected with all these people. I was sitting in a room and he would bring me and literally be like, hey, I want to hear what she has to say. Oh, let me talk to her or whatever this is, or ask me my opinion. Those things were affirming for my journey thus far that, okay, I have really gotten to a point where I'm considering myself an expert to be able to do this. So I would say that would be the beginning of the highlight because that opened doors for me to fully sit in business consult. I've been doing it for a while, but I was afraid to either charge too much because I'm like, but they need my help. They want to start a business. No. And I got to a space that, okay, the people that are not going to pay are the ones that will stress you out the most. Yes, but the people that are willing to pay, you would actually do less work because they see your gifting. They don't see what you're doing or whatever, but they see your anointing and your gifting and they'll pay for it because they have something. And I feel like, Africans there's always our problem. Yeah. We can see somebody that doing the great, amazing work and we still want low blow. Yep. Like we just like, okay, you know what? You say you want $1,000, I give you $500. Right. And you know that the person is worth more than $1,000. Yep. So I think that's one of the things that we need to actually. But I think it's getting better because people are getting more confident in saying no and letting deals. Like we're not in that space. People are not thirsty as they used to be thirsty before. So yes, my rent will be late this month, but I will not on that because I know myself. Like even with me with business coaching now with my clients. I do have, a client that people that want a discount. And I'm like, listen, I can't give you a discount because I can't discount my anointing. Yes. when I come into your business, my whole self comes in. My whole 17 years, my people I know, the mistakes I've made that you don't have to make. You can make those mistakes and it will cost you the same money that it costs me to make those thousands of dollars of mistakes. Or you can learn how not to save the money and not make those mistakes or whatever. But I expressed to them that the reason the discount is not even the problem. The problem for me is I don't want to feel raped after. Like, I don't want to feel like I got violated. And I realized in the past that I would give my all. Because those ones that pay the 500, I will talk. I will call. Did you do this? I will help. I will put events. I will do. And they are just there. Because it doesn't, and it's not just paying. They have to pay money for somebody to really open their ear and be following you. 500, 200 is not, they're like, they can afford to lose that one now.
Because you can make that like 1,000 times.
Right.
A million times. So, So like when it comes to business, how do you promote?
Like market?
Yeah, market-wise. Like
oh my God, my marketing sucks. If you know a marketer out there, I'm still looking for my in-house marketing person. But I think for my business, it has literally grown by word of mouth and just relationships. And that's why it wasn't the viral, moments or whatever. It's just been me still doing it, even with ups and downs. And some people just buy from me because they see that, man, you are still doing this business. You are so sure we know how hard, pandemic, everything, you're coming with your kids, and they will just be like, nah, you deserve for us to give you our business, even if there's somebody else that, comes behind you or whatever. So I think just my integrity in relationships.
So do you feel like if you do something and it didn't work out the way that you wanted to work out, do you feel like it's a failure, or do you think like the lesson being learned?
No, lesson being learned, absolutely. There's nothing I have done that was a failure, and that's why I'm able to say that I'm not attached, I'm not married to any of my businesses, because to me, if it doesn't work out or whatever, I needed to learn something. I look at it as, because that's a faith walk, right? God doesn't work with us like this either. He'll send you here. You go there and think that was supposed to be permanently, and then he's like, all right, your time here is up, I need you to move over here. So to me, I allow myself to move the way God moves with me, where I'm like, my prayer point is not, okay, the same prayer point from last month or last 2 months ago, 3 months. It's like, okay, God, what are you doing in this season in my life? Because if a job lets me go, or a client is like, I don't need you anymore, I thank them. Like when my contract, when they're like, okay, Louise, we're good, we're going to terminate complete your contract. I'm grateful. Like I'm like, it was an honor to serve, because I'm like, God is about to do something. We're shifting into something. Okay, good. Because I was getting bored a little bit. We're doing the same thing over and over. Yeah. All right, God, what's this new thing? And it took time. I'm not going to say like it's so easy to get there, but you just learn your journey with God. And then when you get to that space or whatever, you're able to feel less pressured. So for me, I don't get so attached to anything, so that way I'm able to just switch if I need to switch.
So what would be one advice that you would give anybody that want to get into business?
Just start it.
Just do it.
The business plan is not the business. You trying to write the perfect business plan, trying to get the best working capital, waiting till the grant comes through or whatever, that's not the business. Starting the business and learning in that business is what the business, like now, 15 years, 17 years later, is now that I really know what I want my business to look like. But I had to be in it,
to know.
Go through the issues, hear the customers give me their feedback to be able to know what I need to build or what I don't need to build.
And I must say that the puff puff mix is really good.
Thank you.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, gosh, we should have brought one over here.
I know, to put it right. I thought about that, but I'm not in marketing.
I should have told you to bring one, because that puff puff, and her puff puff mix is like all over the place. She has it in the farmers market, the African stores.
Amazon.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, just give them a little info about you, how they can get in touch with you.
Awesome.
What you do, and
let's see what happens. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Where my stuff are? I should market. I should do a soft plug. A plug. Oh, okay. You can buy Auntie's Puff Mix in Amazon. And then also we have my braiding app, which is like an Uber of hair braiding. It's called Mobile Beauties. If you go on mobilebeauties.com, you can be able to download our app, and then you'll be able to find the closest braider to you. You book your appointment, and they'll come to your doorstep. They'll come to your house to get your hair braided. So those are the two major things. If you need to, I also teach people how to start their own packaged food business.
Okay.
So that's how my consulting is focused on people that want to turn their recipe into a product, or they already have a product and they want to be able to scale it and put in the retail stores. I come into their business and help them with consulting and coach them through that process. So with that one, it's recipe2product.com. To sign up for the masterclass or to sign up for business coaching. So LouiseNunga.com has everything, or you can follow me on Instagram at Louise Nunga. It has everything on there.
Okay.
But yeah.
And we'll actually put a link in the bio, so that way in the description. So that way you can have easy access.
Yeah.
When you watch the video, you can just click on that.
Yeah.
And get more. Talk to the woman, the brain behind the successful business. No, but honestly, try the puff mix and you won't be disappointed. If I had, I'll let my hair grow out so you can get braids. So I can get braids.
No problem. You know, you're the only Ghanaian. I think you're the only Ghanaian that is calm, that I vibe with. You know, me, I've divorced with people. I don't mess, but I like you. I enjoyed this podcast and our conversation. It was very refreshing. Because you Ghanaians are like that. I don't know. It's okay. I love y'all. I have 2 Ghanaian children, so I can't, throw
she
them.
has 2 beautiful Ghanaian children. But see, like we was talking about, the process that you went through made you who you are now.
Oh, absolutely. And I wouldn't take it back.
Exactly.
I wouldn't take it back. I think it's helped me become who I am.
Yeah.
And it's helping other people. It's going to help my children. And it's still an ongoing lesson that it really forces you to really dig deep. Because, and I fall back on that thing of not being offended. Because if you stay offended, and I went through the biggest lesson where it's like, yo, how can you not hate somebody that does this, situation or whatever the situation is? And, I had to look at it like, do you want to keep the hate or the offense, or do you want more blessings, more money, more opportunities? I said more money, more opportunities, and the Lord has been being fruitful in that department. So
that's how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me here. This was fun.
Yes.
This was fun.
We'll do it again.
Yes, we will.
We'll do it again. So next time we'll have all the products.
All the products, the books and all of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell us about the book.
Yeah, the book is on Amazon. So it's called Just Started. How to Activate Your God-Gifted Business. It's on Amazon. You can just go on there and either get it on Kindle or you order a copy.
Okay.
But yeah, the book is just, if anybody is like, I don't know how to start to get the book, I pretty much wrote everything down that we talked about today in the book. I always say that I wrote the book for myself because the book helped me to discover my gift, that my gift is to help other people start their business.
And now you know why I said she's the hottest woman, the hottest working woman I ever seen. So there you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.